Well, so not exactly a happy Sunday. I meant to do a happy Sunday video, but I can't even explain Sunday, other than to say that God answers prayers. Um, I got up, I went to church, I walked to church, I do all the things. You guys know what I do. I get up, I'm happy, I drink the coffee, I get the clothes on, I do the hair, I walk out the door, I go to church. The one thing I didn't count on is to have a prayer answered with absolute unadulterated shock. Um, I went to church and my daughter and the other little girl that's on the worship team, and we were practicing and we're singing, and my daughter's trying to teach me a new song and she's playing. My daughter plays and sings better than I do. Um, and then we hadn't changed on our sign the time that church starts. We bumped it ahead 30 minutes. We keep forgetting to change the sign, and I've got to do that. So I need to get around to doing that. But we're sitting there practicing, and we're singing, I think we're singing Days of Elijah or something like that. I can't even remember. But this couple walk in to the church thinking it starts at 11. And my vision's not the best. So I'm at the front of the church, and the couples at the other side of the church, they come into the entranceway. And until you get to the glass door where you actually enter the sanctuary, my vision's not real great. And so I see this couple walking in, and my brain was not registering, oh, you've already met them. It just wasn't. And where I met them and who they were, and it just wasn't sinking in. So I'm thinking, oh, new people, right? Woohoo, this is awesome. I get to meet new people. And then he walks in with the girl he was with, and he sits down, and I'm trying to finish the song because we're in practice, right? And I'm just looking at him, and my daughter looks at me and she says, Mama, I recognize that lady. And I'm like, I know I've seen her before. I don't know where I've seen her, but I know I've seen her. And then the man kept looking at me like, come on, you know me. Boy, did I. The last person in the world I expected to see that morning walked into the church doors. And I had been praying for this man for 2 years, but I hadn't seen him in a really long time. So it wasn't what I was, your brain plays tricks on you, and your brain goes, oh yeah, they look like someone you know. And that's where my head was. Yeah, this is someone you know. And that just wasn't the thing at all. I knew them, and it had been a really long time. The girl I had only ever seen in photographs, and I'd seen her in a store one time, but I was just like, okay, you know. And then all of a sudden he's looking at me, and he has this look, and this is what caused me to have to recognize it, is he just looks at me and he goes, and I knew. I'm like, oh my gosh, you are here. How are you here? And it was such a shock to see this person that I had been praying for so long walk into my church. And I found out that he got saved and he found Jesus, and he was with the same girl, the girl I recognized from a photograph. And they were both Christian, and everything I'd been praying for had been answered. And it was just such, I gave him the biggest hug, and I just burst into tears. And I can't tell you who it is. It's a thing. I'm really sorry. I can't tell you who it is. But I burst into tears, and I just gave him the biggest hug. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what are you doing here? And I'm like, how did you find me? Because I didn't have any idea in the world that he would. And there are people that enter your life for a reason. And when I entered this man's life a long time ago, it's been a couple of years, I knew that God had put me in his life for a reason. I knew this. And so I just kept to myself, and I just prayed for him and prayed for him and prayed for him. And other things happened, which again, I can't talk about. And I had met other members of his family, and it took me a while to put one and one and one and one and all these pieces together. It took me a handful of months to realize, oh, That's why. That's why God put me in his life. And it was the most miraculous thing. And he walked into church with that girl on Sunday. And they're both people I deeply respect a great deal. And I'll tell you what, it was an answer to prayer. It was an absolute answer to prayer. I had prayed for them. I knew. And it was just, I was in such a state of shock. And anybody that was in the sanctuary could hear me because I had those little headsets on and the little microphone, and it was hot. And I was just sobbing. I was so excited, happy tears. It was loud, and I didn't acknowledge it that my microphone was still on. So everybody in the room heard what was going on. It was the most beautiful, prayer answering, miraculous day. So if I didn't do a happy Sunday, happy Monday, and then I went to work today, and today was such a great day. And it was all I could do to hold that excitement in, because everybody's like, she had a good weekend. Well, yeah, she had a great weekend. But at work, I can't talk about what I do. But it was just, God answers prayers. I guess all of that to say God answers prayers. He answers some of the most impossible prayers. He answers the prayers that you're like, man, please God, step in right now. And he did. And he stepped in. And the cool part is they found me. He found me. And I didn't think they ever would. And they asked me to perform their wedding, to officiate their wedding. And I was like, are you sure you want to do that? And he's like, yes, we want you to do that. And so I am performing or officiating the wedding for two people I care so much about, that I wasn't even sure I'd ever see again. And I am so blessed. I am so blessed and so grateful. And I can't even begin to describe the joy that moment brought to me when they walked in, and my brain finally registered, no, that's really them. They're not lookalikes. It's really them. It was incredible. So whatever you're praying for today, whatever thing you think is impossible, whatever thing that you think is so far outside of the realms of possibility, God is the God of the possible and the impossible. He can make things happen we can't even think of. He can do things we can't even think of. And I am so overjoyed right now. And I really wanted to share this with you, because I'm still in a state of, holy cow, did that really just happen? But it really did. It really just happened. God answers prayers. Keep praying. I am so grateful and so humbled right now. And I literally just cried, and it was incredible. God is powerful. God is awesome. And God is listening to you. I will see you on the next.